Welcome back. Thanks for joining me. We are deep diving today into something many exporters find tricky: managing and verifying data for CBAM. CBAM is the European Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism. So I wanted to make this video because there's a lot of confusion about what you actually need to report, how to gather those numbers efficiently, and how to get through the verification process without stress. Now, if you are into shipping metals, cement, fertilizers, or electricity to Europe, this video will be helpful to create a roadmap to making the process smooth and simple. So what I'm going to cover will be like, how you can prepare for the data, how you can verify the data, and get rid of the manual worksheets, spreadsheets, and get your CBAM reporting automated and accurate. So before we begin, I would like to discuss which industries are covered, because there's confusion about that as well. So at the moment, CBAM focuses on industries which are into heavy carbon footprints, for example, cement, iron and steel, aluminium, fertilizers, electricity, and hydrogen, and if these are exporting to Europe. Okay, so these sectors account for a major part of the carbon emissions, and if they are connected to imports in Europe, they'll be covered under CBAM. The timeline is like this. There was a transitional phase which started in October 2023 and which will go on up to December 2025, for which there is no financial implication. So for example, anything that got imported in Europe during this period and which had carbon emissions embedded, then there was nothing to be paid as carbon fees yet, or to be paid till December. There's nothing to be paid and that's why there's no financial pressure. The full implementation will start from January 2026, and importers must purchase CBAM certificates corresponding to the emissions in their imported goods. Now, this is when the financial side kicks in and compliance become critical. Now, EU is planning to expand the CBAM's scope over the coming years to more industries and products. So becoming aware of this and staying ready on top of it is the key. What does the process looks like? So there's an import report to be prepared by the EU importers, but so that they are able to prepare, they have to ask quarterly reports from the exporter. So if you are an exporter exporting to Europe in these industries, which I just mentioned, you have to prepare the quarterly report for your direct and indirect emissions and record that in a template which can be downloaded from the official CBAM website, and you will be able to compile the data using those templates, and those are basically EU's official communication template, which is normally like an Excel sheet where you have to detail emissions related to your facility and products with all the backup documents attached to it. Now, when EU importers get those reports on a quarterly basis, they will be submitting the data in their portal or in their registry submissions to the authorities. Important part is that you have to be ready for the verification. Now, while verification during the transition was voluntary, from 2026 onwards, there will be third-party audits which will be mandatory. So the data needs to be rock solid and ready for the reviews. And this process is to be repeated on a quarterly basis. Every 3 months, you'll be doing the data collection, verifying the report, keeping in line with CBAM. Okay, now the point is that yes, we have to do this, but can we do it in a digital way? Can we do it in a very seamless process? Yes, this can be done. The first major step is getting all your emissions data in one place. Now, how do we do that? We can do that by maybe adopting a carbon calculator tool or an ESG tool, or there are many other players in the market which have come up with CBAM reporting platform, but then that is helping only one particular objective. So better to go for platform or a calculator which caters to wider needs, I mean wider reporting standards and other needs of the other suppliers as well, other buyers as well. So the system or the calculator that you use should be able to get the invoices, get the timestamps based data from different of your different suppliers, as well as from your own entities. Now the data related to emissions, which is fuel combustion data, stationary combustion, mobile combustion, refrigerants data, or the scope 2 part, which is indirect, the purchase of electricity data, that should be connected to the platform. Now the advantage of using this platform is that it can be connected to IoTs or your different technology or different software that you're using. You can connect those to this particular platform. You can even connect your ERP, so to track your data on a real-time basis. Okay, so just remember that carbon released from your factory itself is a direct emission, and carbon which is tied to electricity, steam, or heat that you buy is indirect emission. I mean, that's covered under scope 2. So most softwares would do the math for you. Like the typical part is the emission factor calculations, which the softwares already have built into based on the geographies. If you are a multinational, like having facilities around the world, then it'll be difficult to get the emission factors for different facilities, different localities. So it's better to use the carbon footprint calculator tool. And first time verification might seem to be scary, but it's manageable. If you're using a digital platform, then you can provide the evidences like meter readings, invoices, contracts, everything, again with who has submitted, with accountability and with timestamps for every entry and for every change. That is possible by using a software platform. So yeah, I mean, if you are able to do that, and I would also suggest to go for a pre-audit before 2026 hits, so that you know where the gaps are, the loopholes are, and you can cover those up, so that it doesn't cause any financial stress for your organization. My another recommendation would be to team up with your suppliers. Because the data that comes in, it's not only from your own entities, it is also from your suppliers that you have to report. So you have to team up with them, get them on board early, and provide them guides and training videos which can help them to help your reporting more efficient, and so that they can provide the data on time, and you don't have to go back and forth to them with your spreadsheets and emails, etc. So yes, so please engage with your suppliers so that you can get their scope 1 and 2 emission data as well, to report things efficiently. There could be errors in the calculation, in the reports, when you collect data from multiple facilities. There could be wrong product codes, missing key documents, misallocating the emission data. So if you use the platform validation features, like if you go for a platform and if you use the validation features, I think those error logs can be tackled and reduced if you have those. So pick a tool and build processes, and then it will help you to scale and also tackle issues with the errors and omissions. So to wrap up, bring your emissions data together in one streamlined platform, automate everything you can do, avoid manual mistakes, train your suppliers and give them tools to make reporting easy. Keep reporting, keep the records organized and ready for audits. Stay updated on the regulatory changes. CBAM is evolving very fast. And another thing is that EU is not accepting LCAs or product carbon footprint that you have done it for other standards. So you have to report in the format that they have on their soft CBAM official portal. So all the best. See you next time. Thank you.